Going down. Slightly different view. I'm sitting on the other end of the bed. Not sure though how I feel about seeing like the door and the light switch, but slightly change. For no other reason than I tied up the tiniest bit. You know how you change the slightest itty bittiest thing and you just like, yep, now it works. I changed how I set up my pillows, the cushions on my bed. So actually let's start with the beginning. Góðan daginn. My name is Guðmundur. I'm in Iceland, I live in Iceland. Welcome to my podcast thingy called the Project Pile, because I have projects and they are in piles. I mostly on this channel talk about yarn, about knitting, crocheting, all that fun stuff. I also talk quite a bit about the weather. And today I'm also going to talk about my pillows because I rearranged them. Excuse me. Yeah. Finally got around to just rearrange the tiniest bit. Put these pillowcases on pillows that have been sitting on the on the floor for the past, I don't know when, want to know how long. This lovely pillowcase got I bought some years ago to protect this. I'm taking it back out. I'm using it to basically protect a little bit this gorgeous pillow that my sister knit for me. Hi Levin! This is a pillow that my elder sister knit for me some Christmases ago, and yeah, I really love having it. I really love hugging it, but I want to protect it from like wear and tear, so I can own it for a very long time. So, oh, that's weird. I recharged the battery and the battery is at half right now. Oh, does that mean a speedrun episode today? We'll try, see how much I can not talk too much. So, honestly, I don't think I have much to talk about. I do have some things to talk about, because chatty. Now, remember the skirt that I was talking about last weekend? Based on this one. I thought that I would be diligent enough to finish it this weekend and be able to just, show it off. Not quite. I haven't even started on the pattern, but I am absolutely done with the what's the word? Increases. The increases are done. So the next round that I'm about to knit will be this baby pattern that I'm absolutely looking forward to. Like, it is such a simple pattern. So once you got it down, you don't need to really think too much. And I love not having to think when I'm knitting. Knitting is like my zen. It's my time to just not think. Which this skirt has been an absolutely wonderful example of. I've like limited amount of thinking, but like, look at this gorgeous curve that you get with this. I love it. Now, if you didn't see the last episode, I am using this thing. It's called Plötulopi. It is plaited Icelandic wool. It is lightly spun, which means that it isn't unspun. Okay, it's not like, what's it called? Like rowing wool or something. I remember it was popular like a few years ago. Like, everyone was doing these humongous chunky blankets, right? And they were so chunky that people had to like knit them with their hands and just, you couldn't use like knitting needles. But the problem is, like, have you seen anyone show off their old blankets recently? Like, how are those blankets holding up? Where are they? because the problem with absolute rowing wool is that it isn't really spun. And the thing about spinning, this is okay. Disclaimer: I'm absolute novice, so I'm just like talking out of my head. But unspun, the unspun wool it is basically just fibers. And the thing about spinning and working with the fibers is getting them to intermingle and tighten up to make a whole. And so that when you're working with it, you actually end up with a project that isn't going to disintegrate like in the first washing or with use. So like with plaited lope, with the plaited wool, it is lightly spun, meaning that it maintains the lightness. But it isn't going to disintegrate. It is still spun. Lightly. But you get this lovely, light, just woolen garment. Also, may have something to do with the fact that Icelandic wool is a little bit different from most other, given to understand. With Icelandic wool, it has double layers with tog and þel. Basically, two different fibers along, basically like a long coat on the outside and a shorter coat is a bit stringier on the underside, and that means that the wool, when we're working with it, it like, trying to think of a picture to put in your head. I think the best analogy I've heard is a bit like Velcro, the interlock, which is absolutely fantastic for the sheep when they have to deal with the weather here in Iceland. Like if they have to go outside in like snow and like winds and stuff, they can handle it. Like we'd rather not that they do. Like we'd rather they just stay in nice warm buildings where they're safe. But they do have the woolen coat to deal with it. We just prefer that they stay inside. But yeah, so that's the understanding that I have of the why the plötulopi works, is because it's Icelandic apparently. But yeah, stop gushing. So yeah, I've got this much done. So I'm done, as I said, with all the increases, and I will be starting hopefully today on the pattern itself. This hits me just not quite a palm span from the top of my knees, but it's like, yeah. I swear I charged that battery. It's down to the last one. Dear Lord. You know what? I'm gonna recharge it. Alright, the camera's not fully loaded. It's been about just over 46 minutes, something like that. So in the meantime, while waiting for this to recharge itself, I actually went and, I used the time. So I knit the first round of the pattern, and let's just say it is very obviously homemade, and for some reason, I don't want to frog it. Because here is my thinking on this, at least for myself. And this may be a little bit weird, because I know that a lot of people who, like, when we are knitting, like definitely when I will be knitting my Lopez and my chaos of like, yeah, the Lopez that I want to make, that is, chaos incarnate. With that one, I will definitely be more dedicated to, making it exact, because that one has so many patterns, and so you know, it's a lot of work and there's a color work in it. But somehow when it comes to this skirt, I don't want to frog it. I don't know why. But I've decided not to frog the mistake that I somehow managed to lose 6 stitches, probably because I did some mistake in the counting of the pattern, but I'm gonna keep it in. I'm not quite sure yet. Like, there's an idea in my, just somewhere back here, that is like, well, because I want to remember that it's handmade. Because, like, I don't know. It's like when you buy, like, commercially made, mass-produced, like, knitwear. The knitting is always, it's always the same, because, you know, it goes through a machine has to be programmed, and you can't program a machine to make a mistake unless you want it to be repeated again and again. Then it's not a mistake. But when we make things by hand, there's bound to be a stitch here and there that is not in the right place, and I think that's playing a part in my desire to not frog in. But I also feel it has something to do with the fact that I do have, you know, the perfectionism, and I've been hitting back on that for the past, like, about 20 years actually. Whew, how time flies. Yeah, it's about 18 years since I started working on, like, poking back at the perfectionist, because as I'm sure that a lot of you know, having perfectionism is annoying. It is so like, you cannot put a letter in the wrong place without having to constantly fix it because it's not right. No one else notices. No one else cares. All that other people are going to care about is that the letter is there. So I feel like this is a part in that. And it's like, well, I don't want it to be perfect. Because yes, I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect, which is kind of hilarious, but you know, it is actually making me happy. It's like, yay, first round, didn't go well. Don't care. Should I care? I can't care. But you know, in the meantime, and possibly a reason why I kind of got distracted is that I found on YouTube a documentary about Goosebumps, which is killers. Like, we didn't have the books here in Iceland. I don't think I don't know if they've been, like, translated over to Icelandic. Like, I do have one Goosebump book that I bought some years ago, purely because I wanted to read I want to read the book, and it's the Masked Mutant. That is, you know, when I think about that, actually has a very, it does tie into YouTube, because my how do you want to put it? I mean, we did have, like, the TV series here in Iceland. We did watch those, but we didn't have the books. And years and years ago on YouTube, I saw a let's play of a video game, Goosebumps video game, The Masked Mutant, and this guy playing this video game, he's hilarious. Like, I have watched that series, like, when I'm in a certain mood, I go and look that series up, that playthrough, because that just helps me just And because of that playthrough, I got interested in like the Goosebumps again. And a few years after that, there was like kind of this Goosebumps renaissance online, and like painfully aware that I'd never read any books, so I went on Amazon, looked it up, and decided I want to read The Masked Mutant. I got that one, and I adore it. I like it. Like, which actually is a roundabout way of getting to R.L. Stein, the author of Goosebumps, because he's still, working. He's still writing books, and that man has written so much. It's like, oof, lordy. But yeah, I was not gonna chat about Goosebumps other than just mention the fact that I was watching this documentary on YouTube. Well, knitting the first round of the pattern, and somehow, but it's just like, no, I did mention before when I started on this, that I did make a little rearrangement in my bedroom. And I mean the tiniest, like I literally just rearranged the cushions or the pillows, and that somehow made a huge difference. And the tiniest tidying up, like the tiniest, which somehow made more space, and I have no idea why. I literally just threw away a couple of papers, like slips of paper, and somehow more space, which actually brought my attention to this here crochet magazine. It is Simply Crochet. How old is this? It is number 82. Can't remember what year this is from. Let's see. Should put the years in these. I feel like it like 2018 or 19. I don't think I bought any in 2020, but there's a lot of patterns in here that I want to try. But one of the things that happened while I was doing my ittiest bittiest teeniest tiniest tidying up was that I rediscovered this yarn. I have these 3 packs from Ice Yarns. These are Sail Winter Light Powder Pink. I think I got them like last year, I think. And I have these 3 packs, and I've been wondering whether I want to make like a sweater or something like that, or, because I also did notice when tidying up the other day, there is this lovely crochet like rug or wall hanging. It's a mandala rug, and the yarn that they use in it is wool. West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat, 100% wool, 100 grams and 140 meters. And they do use an 8mm crochet hook to make this rug, and I'm like, I should be able to find some kind of yarn in my stash, and like either this or something else, because Lord knows I have a lot of yarn, but this is handy right now. And I'm wondering if I use this to make like this rug, like the color would actually fit my aesthetic and be something different. Like, I know that I'm been working on like one sweater that's just my forever project, because I'm trying to figure out how to do the yoke. There's another that I've been working on this summer that I have no idea how I'm gonna make the sleeves. And I know that the original idea that I had with this yarn was that I was gonna make like some kind of garment out. Now I'm wondering if I should make like this rug. I don't quite remember the fiber content. Oh, but it's so soft though. These are 12% wool, 37% acrylic, and 51% polyester. They're so soft. But I mean, I would probably need to hold like 2 or 3 threads together. It would look really nice as a rug, but maybe it would be too soft. But I do have more yarn. Ideas. But yeah, actually, I hopefully this is probably like the second or third time I'm saying this, but hopefully I'm gonna finish this skirt this weekend. If not, then not. But like the next upcoming week, I've been checking like the weather forecast, and it's actually going to be warming up, which is so nice because the past weeks have been a little bit like grey and dreary and foggy, and I like the fog, but like I'm on summer vacation. I would like some summer and sun and warmth a little bit, just a little bit. So it's maybe gonna be a little bit too warm to be working with wool. I don't know, we'll see. If so, there's always something else to work on. Another thing that I want to mention, because I went on a tangent with R.L. Stein just now, I have been taking courses on Domestika, right? I told you about this before. And the courses, I keep finding more and more courses. So my first intention was to find courses on writing, because I want to just get into writing. Like, this is something that I've been very mean to myself for the past like way too long. I've been mean to myself. I've been cruel to myself. I have not allowed myself to write. And writing is something that is fun and something that I want to do, that I like doing, but I haven't given myself the permission to. So this summer, I don't know, something clicked. So I decided to go into Domestika because of that ad that I saw, and then I found out that you can just buy the courses separately. I want to look into Masterclass, but you buy their subscription, but like, I mean, it's just different business, but I think like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna do Masterclass because there are so many fun, wonderful people there that are teaching so many wonderful things. But for this past week, I have been taking the 3 courses on Domestika, and they're all about writing. And there are 2 very, very different teachers, and I love it. The first teacher is Sean Levin, who I didn't know who he was. I literally picked his 2 courses because he looked interesting. Like, something about it, I just went, yeah, I want to see what he's about. And extremely interesting person. He's been like a writer for 30 years. He has done a lot of work, a lot of it with like cooking, like kindergarten and restaurants and a lot of things. He's been mango picker, he's worked in a chicken farm, a lot of things. He's born and raised in South Africa. And I'm trying to remember, when he was 14 or 15 years old, his parents, or the entire family, moved to Israel because they are Jews. So that huge change in life, when he's at that very, like we all know, that's a very vulnerable time in our lives. It's like that, something about just that 14, 15 years old is like, oh, that's like just the change in culture and environment, and that was a huge change. So he's been living in different places, and for the most part in like Madrid in Spain. very comfortable with his. Nice thing about his course is that he speaks in English, so I have a very easy time following him. A lot of the other courses are in either Spanish or Portuguese. It's fine. The subtitles are fine, but when I have to like read the subtitles to get what the teacher is saying, I get mentally taxed. But yeah, Sean Levin, he's he's a queer Jew, born and raised in South Africa, moved to Israel, is now working in Madrid in Spain. And the other teacher, whose course I am following right now, I'm so thankful I've been taking notes. That is Cristina Lopez Fario, and she's a former lawyer in Spain, and she worked as a lawyer for 13 years, and because she always had the dream of wanting to be a writer, but both her father and older sister were lawyers, and her father's like, that's fine, but how are you gonna make a living? You have to be reasonable. And so she went into law, and just these completely different people who I never knew anything about before, completely different, but they are both such good teachers. I am in the midst of Christina's I'm gonna call her Cristina. I'm Icelandic. We go by first name basis. I am in the middle of her course. That is. She did so much. Where are you? Hi. Hi, writing a novel step by step. Oh, love it. And she goes into so much. She goes into psychology. She goes into the entirety of making a story, and just there's so much to learn. And because she speaks in Spanish, I need to focus on the subtitles, so I have to be constantly pausing the videos, and she has a lot of videos. So I'm gonna finish this podcast and get right back to doing the coursework, because I am having so much fun. So that is also taking up quite a bit of my time this week or weeks, is getting to writing. And also I've written down in my journal, and I'm signed up on the webpage, and I am 95% certain. I still have some doubt, but I want to be gung-ho about this. I am seriously thinking about participating in NaNoWriMo. Oh, that's so weird to pronounce. The National Novel Writing Month, where for the 30 days of November you write 50,000 words. That's gonna be a challenge. I've given myself the permission that I'm allowed to fail. That's okay, but I want to participate and see what I can do. I want to make November crazy, but that's gonna be really interesting. That's gonna be so interesting. But that is all from me this weekend. I hope I can edit it so it's something. But yeah, we'll see. I will see you next weekend, and hopefully my brain won't be fried. I will see you. Okay, but I will see you. Okay, bless.